Hey there, it's Nico and Eve. We traveled from Germany to Senegal without flying. Join us on our journey from Morocco through Mauretania to Senegal. Okay, our first step was getting out of the desert back to the Atlantic coast in Morocco. We waited 5 hours in a small town, and eventually a French couple in their camper van took us for 2 days with them. We got to see again and again that even in the desert the landscape can differ and be breathtakingly beautiful. After a few days and several other cars, also with some locals, we made it back to the ocean. Hitchhiking in Morocco is super easy because I think it's also a common thing for Moroccans.
Hello.
We found a camp spot close to the ocean, and there was a cat constantly trying to get into our tent. And in general, there were so many puppies and dogs and cats, and I think at some point we might take a puppy with us. But if we would take every puppy, we would already have like 5 of them. We rested some time on that camp spot, played some football, and made our own shower because a shower cost €6 extra, so that's us here. Wow. We have a 17-hour bus ride ahead of us. Nico is fighting not to puke. We decided to drive parts of the Sahara with the bus because hitchhiking means maybe landing in the middle of nowhere. Venting my stiff neck. You can't even grasp the size of the Sahara. We are about to drive more than half of the kilometers we made from Germany to where we are now to get even close to leaving the desert behind us.
We arrived at 7 in Dakar, and then we sat on a park bench for 2 hours because it's Ramadan and everything is closed. We have no hotel yet, and we have no coffee, no Wi-Fi.
We don't know where to go.
Yeah. And after that we sat on another park bench for 2 hours, and it's still Ramadan. Nothing is open. Yeah.
We are running home because I drank some, or we're not sure. We drank some strawberry yogurt stuff from a supermarket, and it was bad and I didn't realize it early enough. Now I just puked a bit, and now gonna get some charcoal tablets in me. Let's hope it will work. Luckily nothing happened yet. We are transporting onions and fruit from Morocco to Mauretania.
And some televisions, old ones.
In the bus. So funny. The bus is the post system here. It's nice. Another 14-hour bus drive through the desert.
How are you? Thank you, Armand. Driver crazy.
This bus took us to the border, then we walked through the border, got our visas for Mauretania, and were picked up by another bus afterwards. After the 14-hour bus drive, we finally arrived in Nouakchott, the capital of Mauretania, and we were driven by a taxi to our Airbnb. The traffic in the city was crazy, and there's no system at all but honking. But the driver was very calm and even talked to us through Google Translate while driving. The next morning we walked through the city and were wondering where more than 1 million people get their water from and how people can afford life in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere.
35 degrees. I think it's around about 12.
Feels warmer.
It's incredible. The sun is so strong. And after spending 2 nights in Nouakchott, we have a mission now. We try to get to Riyadh with the bus, but it's super difficult because you barely get any information about the bus. We don't even know if it exists, but we'll try.
Okay, according to this man, the buses are too dangerous, so we'll take a taxi to get to a better hitchhiking spot.
And then we try to hitchhike to the south of Mauretania to go to Senegal, but first we want to go to the national park, the Deerling. We are going to Vasso.
So we are hitchhiking in another car, and I think we will have Ramadan with him. And then we have to see, because then it's dark, so we have to see where we can put our tent. But we'll just go with it. He seems really nice.
And hitchhiking worked out so well.
Yes.
Here. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, with the language barrier, it's not very easy to really understand what's happening sometimes. But we were right. We got invited to eat with them, and this lovely evening, unfortunately, turned out to be the beginning of a horrible night.
Good morning. This was our sleeping place.
After dinner, I began to feel weird. I was freezing and shaking. I thought it might have been the heat and the sun. And the man brought us back to a place in nature. We thought he would sleep in his car next to our tent, but sadly it was a misunderstanding. And suddenly we were alone, close to the street. And after a few minutes, a man stopped in his car and was talking loudly on the phone and talking in Arabic at us in our tent. We said nothing and were hoping he'll leave. Meanwhile, I felt worse and worse.
Yeah. Close to the border. I think 50 kilometers. But we have a problem. He is a bit sick. It's kind of food poisoned. And I also feel a bit like throwing up. So I don't know when we can continue or how. Yeah, would be good to go over the border and try to get like a real home, like a hotel, something.
But we decided to move the tent and hide somewhere behind trees. We were a bit paranoid because normally we put up our tent when there's still light, and when wild camping we try not to be seen. So yeah, it was a very crazy night and we were kind of scared, and with my sickness we didn't sleep at all.
It's 1 hour later. Eve is still not in a good shape. She feels very weak. So I think we will not cross the border today.
At some point I knew I have to get up, because sleeping where we were for another night was not possible, and we were also out of water, so we had to continue our journey. Luckily, after 2 short rides with locals, this angel from Slovenia turned up and took us through the national park to the border.
Can you just... Yes.
So cute.
This is still Mauretania, and after that barrier there's Senegal, and we get like, today was like the perfect hitchhiking day, like the best we ever had.
After the border, he even took us with him to a camp spot next to the ocean. We really don't know what we would have done without him.
Welcome to Senegal.
We made it. I still feel shitty.
Feels really good.
Has a nice vibe.
Yes, a really nice vibe. Wow, we found our way to a beautiful campsite, and this is where I'm gonna watch the sunset. Wow! Incredible! Wow.
So this is me trying to get some nourishment. The papaya was the only thing that didn't make me want to puke when thinking about it. I think the adrenaline of us getting to Senegal made me forget how sick I really felt. But walking around this much and playing chess maybe wasn't a good idea. But who can resist being outside when being in such a paradise? Have you ever tried drinking out of a 10-liter bottle? We wouldn't recommend it.
He feels sick again. Okay, I have a new mission. There is a small island. It's a nature reserve and there's a lot of birds. I have no idea how far it is or how strong the stream is, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to get there, and I hope I'll come back. What do you think about this?
I don't know. I would love to do it, but I think it wouldn't be a good idea. I still don't feel 100% well. So, well. If I would have felt better, I would have swum there every day.
I made it. This back there, this is the campsite. I think you can see the tower. And I'm on a small island. And look what I found. There's so much fish. Wow. And I think the people here are collecting it. Hello.
Hi. I finally began to feel a bit better and prepared some potato to get some food into my system. We went for a walk and found old fisher boats, or maybe they weren't old ones, I'm not sure. They had holes in them, but also looked like they are still being used.
It's funny, when you were in the desert for some time, you can't get over the variety of animals and plants when you are finally somewhere where there's more life and more green. It's still Ramadan and it is so difficult to find any food, and the small towns are pretty deserted, and there are just some kids who want to say hello, but otherwise, yes.
Hey Phil. Hey Esther. Hey Anna. We are making muffins on a fire.
Nice. Let's see this.
It's maybe a bit much.
A lot of peanut butter. And some nice tomatoes, onions. And a shitload of veggies.
We found some veggies and made some mafé. It's a traditional dish from Senegal we learned from Solo, who we lived with in Portugal.
Wow. On our campsite are really big monkeys and they steal food.
After spending a few days at the campsite, for me to feel better, we chose to drive with the Slovenian Angel to Dakar. Unfortunately, he realized the morning we wanted to leave that he needs to be in Dakar as soon as possible, otherwise they might take his car.
Wow. We are at the port now and we have been driving for 4 hours, and yeah, we got stopped from 2 police cars. It's crazy, and they looked into the car. This backpack in the middle is not okay. You need to pay something because you cannot see out of the back window. But it's crazy, the people here, they sometimes don't even have a back mirror, or yeah, you should see the cars. They just make things up to get paid. So it's so corrupt here. Nice,
Yeah,
we got the stamp.
We got the stamp.
Okay, the traffic is getting crazy.
Okay, let's get to our couch surfing spot in this crazy city.
The daily struggle of finding food when there's Ramadan. But we are in Dakar, so maybe we'll be lucky and find some mafe.
Okay, even in Dakar there's no food. At least there was a supermarket that was open, so we could find some
It's Ramadan.
bread and cheese and yeah. Okay, as you know from our previous videos, hitchhiking out of a city is impossible. So we were trying to get with the bus to the port, and from the port take the ferry to the south of Senegal, and from the south of Senegal go up to the north again through Gambia, so that we don't have to cross Gambia twice, because we'll try to get from Dakar to somewhere else. And yeah, but in Africa, that's, yeah.
We just found out that there is no ferry for 3 months now. It's because, it's because of political issues.
Okay, so as you can see from this video, making plans while traveling is impossible. So we try to make a plan, but it's like in the next second it's completely run over. So yeah, you just gotta go with the flow. And even if we tell people we'll be there at some point, we will never know if we will really be there. So you gotta really be like super spontaneous and open to what's gonna happen. But it's also the beauty of traveling, that it just takes you where you should go.